Hi, my name is Ronaldo Linares from Martino's Cuban restaurant, and today we're going to be making Filipino-style empanadas. It's an easy dish, has a little bit of prep work in it, but it's a delicious thing to make. Let me run through the ingredients. We have Spanish onions, red peppers, ground beef that we're going to dice up the onions, we're going to dice up the red peppers, then we're going to saute it in the ground beef. As for the seasoning, we have kosher salt, we have ground black pepper, cumin, and curry. So we're going to season that up. Make sure you season as you go. What I mean by that, every new ingredient you add to your beef, you want to add a little seasoning. Because remember, what you're adding is bland. So you want to make sure we stay on track to a delicious finished product. So right here is we have our finishing product here, which was saute the ground beef, then added the onions and the peppers and kind of let it sweat in there. Let it marinate, let it get nice, and let it develop that flavor that we need to have a nice Filipino style empanada. Let me move on to our dough. As for our dough, we're going to need just a few ingredients. We got our flour, we got our sugar, baking powder, and we have lard. The lard is from the restaurant, so pretty much I cook my pigs, my pork shoulders, and once the fat and everything has settled, I'm able to get that lard. You can also use shortening or butter, but I prefer the lard. It just gives a better flavor, and it kind of speaks to me Filipino. So we're ready to make our dough. So pretty much we have sifted flour. I mean, you have to sift it. So you got to make sure you sift it, kind of get all that impurities out, and we have a better dough finishing product. So we're going to add our sugar, which is about 2 tablespoons of sugar. We have our baking powder, 2 teaspoons. And we're going to add that up there, and we're going to mix this up with a fork, okay? Kind of aerate it. Make sure it gets blended really nice before we add our lard. It's very important. So now as we got that nicely mixed, we're actually going to add our lard. Right here, it's about ½ cup of lard. So just like a pie crust, you want to kind of just blend it in there, mix it in there, and until it resembles kind of coarse, let's say breadcrumbs. It's going to resemble breadcrumbs. So you got to make sure you mix it and mix it and mix it in there really well. At this point, you have to get dirty. You got to add your hands, you got to put them in there, and kind of just mix it with your fingertips. So now that we mix it up a little, we got our nice breadcrumb texture, we're going to add our ice water. It's 1/3 cup of ice water. So you kind of just sprinkle it right on there. Add all of it in there, okay? And we're going to get back our hands in there, get it nice and dirty. So now it's time to form this dough. So as you mix, you're going to start forming the dough. You're going to start forming the dough. So kind of once you get that feel, you're going to remove it out of your pot, out of your pan here. Put it on the table and start kneading away. This is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes of kneading. You want to knead and knead until you form a bowl. Once you form that bowl, we have to cover it, saran wrap, and let it up to the side at room temperature for 10 minutes. Let it rest so it can come back together, get a nice elastic and everything, so we can form our dough for our empanadas, which is next. Now that we form our dough, we have 10 minutes later, we're going to remove it, and we got a nice, beautiful formed dough. It's not sticky at all to the fingers. It's nice and elastic, what we need for this Filipino empanadas. So let's go ahead and make a couple, fry them up, and see how they come out. So what you want to do, you want to divide this dough into 4 equal pieces. Okay? We're going to just roll it back up, get a little bowl, press it down. Just get a rolling pin, just back and forth. We don't want to roll over to the edges of the dough. Why? Because once we fry it, you don't want it to crack or fall apart or anything. Just keep rolling. All right. So let's get ready to make our empanada. So I get about a tablespoon of the empanada mixture. We're going to fold it right over. And we're going to crimp the sides. We want to seal that because we don't want all that goodness to come out. So this is the way I like to fold it. I mean, you could definitely divide it up and make two separate circles. But I think this just looks better once it's fried, which you'll see. So once you crimp the sides up, you want to take it, you want to fold it over, just like that. So it looks like a nice little pouch. So we're going to make a few of those, and then we're going to fry them up. So now we have our Filipino-style empanadas. This was an easy task, a little prep work, but we have a beautiful dish in front of us. So what we did was got the oil up to 325 degrees. Keep an eye on that oil, it stays at temperature. Otherwise, it's going to cook too quick on the outside. It's going to look done, but on the inside, the dough is going to be still a little raw. So you make sure you keep an eye on that oil. It's gonna take about two minutes or so. So about a minute, you wanna turn it over so both sides brown evenly. Once that happens, remove it, put it on a plate with a napkin, so kind of that grease kind of just falls right off, so when you bite into it, you don't get a mouthful of oil. You get a mouthful of flavor, and that's what we want. It's really nice, it's beautiful. As you can see, it's a beautiful crust, steam's coming right out. Great flavor. I hope you enjoyed this dish as much as I enjoyed making it.